Yo, what up, fam? We are on our way to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and to say I'm excited would be an understatement. I have been pumping my system full of Star Wars symphony music all morning long, and I just can't wait for today. So, without further ado, I don't know how you say that, but I can't believe that this place is real. This is literally like a dream come true to me. I remember as a kid on Sunday afternoons, I would watch Empire Strikes Back with my dad, and he would flip back and forth between Star Wars and golf. And I remember being so stinking frustrated every single time he would get wrapped into golf, or he would like fall asleep, because golf announcers are pretty much like guys telling you a bedtime story while they're talking. But he would fall asleep, or he would get distracted, and he would forget to go back to Star Wars. And I remember being so frustrated whenever he would flip back and I had missed a piece of the movie, because I loved Star Wars. And it helped me to like escape reality and be in this dream world. It was crazy. I was in it. Even as a kid, I was so drawn in. I hated being drawn out of that world because he was flipping back and forth between golf and Star Wars. And that movie sparked a passion in me to do that same type of thing. Help people escape the real world and kind of live in a fantasy world for just a little while, where they could kind of escape stress, escape worry, and they could just live in a land of creativity. And luckily, over the years, I've had tons of opportunities to work at jobs where I was able to do that. I was able to create things that help people escape from reality for just a little bit, help them look at things in a new way. And so, wow, see that guy? And so, I am so distracted now. That was awesome. What? That's so cool. Anyways, I have been so lucky over the years. I can't stop thinking about that. That's awesome. Over the years, I've had the opportunity to work at some jobs that I absolutely loved, where I was able to be creative and I was able to do what I love, and I'm still doing that right now. And so lately, I've been wondering, and I've been asking myself this question: why doesn't everybody do that? A ship just flew overhead. That's crazy. I've been asking myself, why doesn't everybody do that? Why doesn't everybody do what they love? There are obviously a lot of reasons why people don't do what they love the most. But personally, I think the biggest reason is just fear. Maybe it's fear of failure, maybe it's fear of not living up to what somebody else wants you to be. Maybe it's fear that it's not gonna work out and you're going to not have the finances you need, or you're not gonna have the security that you need. I don't know what type of fear it may be, but when we don't pursue what we love because of fear, all of a sudden, all these doubts start creeping in. All of a sudden, we are afraid to pursue what we love the most, and so we just aren't satisfied. You're never going to be satisfied until you start doing what you love. And that doesn't mean that it's going to look exactly like what you think it means, but if you're not pursuing what you love, then I think there's something more for you out there. And don't be confused. I think there's a difference between doing what you love for selfish reasons and selfish ambition, and you just want to make yourself amazing. Well, I don't think that that's the way to succeed. I don't think that anyone starts like that and actually is successful. But if you're doing it for the right reasons, because you have a passion and you want to do something to help other people, you want to do something to encourage other people, to make this world a better place, I think you need to push past those fears and just know that you can do it. And I'm going to give you some tips of how I think you can push past those fears and you can actually do what you love full time. I've been thinking about this concept a lot lately, and I'm not a professional, and so I'm going to try and share some things from my experience, but take the meat and leave the bone. If it doesn't apply to you, then just go ahead and leave it, and if it hits home, then praise the Lord. It's encouraging, and so here's what I would say. Some advice that I have if you want to do what you love the most full time. First thing is this. Understand that whatever you're doing now is preparing you for what's to come. I say that because I know that there are times in my life that I was doing things that I didn't really love, but it was preparing me for today. It was preparing me for this moment, this season that I'm living in right now. And I think if you were to ask every great mind in all of history, they would say that they did a lot of things that they didn't love, but it developed them and it made them into the person that they became. So be okay where you're at. There are seasons in life where you might not be doing what you love the most, but you are being prepared for what's to come. My second piece of advice is this. Be intentional and strategic in the season that you are in right now. Here's why. I think that you can do things in your current job that can prepare you and catapult you into what you want to do full time, the thing that you love the most. For instance, I worked at a hospital while I was in college, and I never wanted to work in a hospital. I needed a job. We were having our first kid. I wanted insurance, and I wanted good insurance, so I got a job at a hospital. And I loved storytelling. I loved creative work, and there wasn't really any of that in the hospital. But one thing that I was able to do while I was working in the hospital is I would sit down with people, and I would hear their stories, and I would tell them my stories. And for just a short moment, those people were able to forget about their current struggle and be transported into another world, a world of peace, hope, and working at that hospital and using those skills of storytelling over and over and over again in personal situations helped me to be better at what I do right now. My last piece of advice is this. Make a plan and take baby steps. It's really overwhelming to think about leaving what you're doing right now and pursuing your dreams. But when I started this creative agency, it was the same thing. And for the first few weeks, I started doing tasks that I knew needed to get done, but I had never made a plan. And so I got a few weeks in and I looked back and said, what have I been doing? I feel like I've been working for weeks and I've made zero to no progress. And the reason is because I didn't have a plan. And so everything I was doing was scattered. It wasn't organized the way it needed to be so that I could be effective. And so my advice to you is make a plan. What I had to do is I had to look at where I wanted to be in a year, and I had to set up milestones every single month. And so I knew at month 1, here's the things I needed to have accomplished. At month 2, here's the things I needed to have accomplished. At month 3, here's the things that I need, and so on and so forth. And so after that, I went and I started taking baby steps. I would even break down those things like write up a mission and vision and values. And I would start to say, okay, well, what needs to be in there? What do I need to think about so that I can have an effective mission, vision, and values? And I would schedule those things into my calendar so that I could actually get them done in a timely fashion. And I put a due date on myself, because if you don't schedule them and you don't put a due date, you're probably never going to get them done. That's just the way that we are. We will procrastinate. We will have other things come onto our plate. And so until we put things on our schedule and we make them priorities, then other things will overload us. And so make a plan and start taking baby steps. And as you do that, you will be able to do what you love full time in 1 year from now. I guarantee it, because you have planned and you have started to do what you need to do. now that I have said all that, I have one more thing that I want to say, and it's this. The truth is, you are never going to be able to work a job where you only do what you love to do. Personally, I don't think it exists. I think it is foolish to think that you can only do what you love. The person who said, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, I think that that's a load of crap. I don't think that that's even possible, because the truth is, sooner or later, you're gonna have to do something that you don't want to do. You might not want to do the accounting. You might not want to do face-to-face meetings. You might not want to raise funds. You might not want to go to dinners that you need to go to. You might not want to do the networking. There might be all kinds of things that you don't want to do. But you know what? If you can do what you love the most 80% of the time and only do what you don't like 20% of the time, I feel like that's worth it. Hey, look at this! Chewbacca! It has been an awesome day. And it's crazy for me to think about this idea that at one point in time, this was just a dream. George Lucas thought of this, and not only did it become a movie, but now it's a real place. There is a physical structure that is Star Wars. And so, if that doesn't inspire you to dream and believe that you can actually have your dreams become a reality, I don't know what will. This day has been incredible. I'm inspired. I hope you're inspired. Thanks for watching. If you have gotten anything out of this video, please like, it really does help. Subscribe, and I will see you next Wednesday. Peace.